a bottle of white, a bottle of red, perhaps a bottle of rosé instead. They say in vino veritas. To that I say, let's raise a glass.
Welcome back to Got Knowledge, where you'll not only brush up on your blind tasting skills, but also enhance the enjoyment of your next glass of wine. My name is DeniZe, your virtual partner in wine. Tonight's session in How to Taste, a Guide to Enjoying Wine by Jancis Robinson is Formal Tastings. If you've been invited to a dinner party, you certainly must have asked yourself, I wonder what's for dinner? And if you've thrown a dinner party, you must have asked yourself, I wonder what courses I should have. What should they be? And in what order? Well, the same holds true when planning a formal tasting. No more and no less. First, let's presume you're the guest at a formal wine tasting. What should you expect? If your host has done his or her homework, regardless of the number of wines and guests, you should find open bottles of wine set out on long tables covered with white tablecloths. On the tables, there should be pitchers of water for rinsing your glass and cleansing your palate as you move from wine to wine. There should also be spittoons on those tables, the taster's proverbial napkin, strategically and conveniently placed for the taster's comfort. Nothing smacks of discomfort as a mouthful of wine and nowhere to eject it. Thinking ahead, it may not be a bad idea to come prepared should this humble yet indispensable table item be overlooked. For suggestions, revisit our session, Great Expectorations, the noble art of spitting. This will ensure for your tasting comfort, even if your host hasn't. Last but not least, there should be nibblies. It's no secret that wine stimulates the appetite. And to keep your raging hunger at bay, the thoughtful host will have provided something bland that will not distract your palate from the task of tasting, such as plain crusty bread or breadsticks. Now that we've covered what you should find at a formal tasting, is there anything else either the guest or the host should do? Aside from having a clear head, both guest and host should avoid wearing any strong perfume or cologne. For details, do review the guidelines on the etiquette at a wine tasting in Coming Clean, Smells, Scents, and Fragrances, as well as Feeling Good, Possible Distractions. Both sessions contain tips essential to your being the welcome guest or the consummate host. I guarantee that the 14 minutes invested in reviewing these 2 points will be time well spent in enhancing your wine experience. Now back to the dinner party metaphor. We've taken care of setting the table for a tasting. Now how about the menu? There are several menu options. You can showcase a range of wines from a single producer. Focus on a particular grape, say a selection of Pinot Noirs from around the world, to learn not only more about the varietal, but also how a particular region influences the wine's character. You can have a horizontal tasting where you showcase different wines from a single vintage, say a selection of 2007 Chardonnays from some of your favorite regions. Or how about a vertical tasting where you compare the same wine from the same chateau or grower, but from different vintages. Here, you can experience for yourself how weather in a particular year can influence the quality and character of a wine. Now to address the question, in what order to serve the various courses. Is it fish before fowl? The same question applies to wine. The rule of thumb in this case, however, is white before red, dry before sweet, and young before old. However, the rule of serving young before old does come with a caveat. Apparently, modern winemaking is the culprit here. More and more, wine today is becoming more concentrated with higher percentages of alcohol. The sheer weight or quality of the younger modern wines could overwhelm the older ones. In this case, it might make sense to do as the professional port tasters do. Sort your wines starting from the oldest to the youngest. Well, that concludes another session in How to Taste by Jancis Robinson. Tune in next time for Tasting Blind. Thank you for joining me. And remember, got knowledge? Pass it on. A bottle of red, a bottle of white, it all depends upon your appetite. I'm here next week, so do drop by. Arrivederci, ciao, goodbye.